We'll be talking to Katie, who is a family nurse practitioner. Currently, she is functioning as a neurology nurse practitioner in a pediatric hospital. She's wanting to start a wellness practice where she will provide HRT and weight loss. She's needing assistance with the practice startup process and how to navigate a part-time business with a full-time job. Hey, Katie, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Um,
Good.
all right, thanks for hopping on here. So tell us about yourself. I don't think I've talked to a neurology NP who does pediatrics.
Yeah, so I have about 20 years of experience as a registered nurse. I became an NP in 2013. Since then, I have actually worked in the ER for about 2 years. And then I went to a retail clinic for about 2 years. And then I had a lot of pediatric roots from my nursing career. So I went back to pediatrics for the last 9 years. And I've been there.
Interesting. How'd you get into neurology?
One of my first jobs was on a rehab unit. And that's kind of all interconnected with neurology, neurosurgery. And so they saw I had experience in that and I applied for the job and I got it. So here I am.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
You've been doing that for how long?
9 years.
9 years. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're pretty much a neurologist.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. I love it. It is one of the most challenging, probably, areas to work in. But once you get the hang of it, it's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So you are wanting to start your own practice. So,
Yeah.
um, just why you want to start your own practice and kind of what do you want to do?
Yeah, gosh. So I you know, getting a little bit older now, I have really started to in the last few years work on myself, really honing in on women's health, how I can be healthier for myself, for my kids, my family. So really coming from more of like a personal standpoint, really digging into perimenopause. And I've really just been educating myself a lot about hormone replacement therapy, along with like the weight loss. Um, so this is just a really another interesting area for me. I've been following other women that talk about perimenopause, like Mary Claire Haver. I don't know if you've ever heard of her. Just really interested and fascinated about it. And then I found myself really educating everybody around me, um, you know, in my everyday life. And I'm like, why not make this something? Kind of already doing it and just kind of make it more formal.
Got it. Okay. I guess my big question for you though is I guess why focus on adults and HRT when you really know your pediatric stuff, I guess.
Um, I don't, I still, I love my job. I love my pediatric patients. But I still have a couple of years of loans that I still need to pay off. And really just, interested in that. I don't think I'd be able to do both with my full-time job and that. So I'd have to pick something else that I liked as well. So that's kind of where I'm going with that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Plus pediatrics, I mean, you got to accept insurance.
Yeah.
Uh,
Totally. I thought about that too. Yeah.
yeah. A pediatric cash-based practice, it's gonna be a lot difficult.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's doable. I mean, I do know some NPs who have done some pediatric cash-based stuff and
Yeah.
do very well because they're just
Mhm.
doing something that not a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
So it's very niched, you
Yeah.
know? So it's definitely an option, especially with your kind of experience. So I would say at least keep it as a thought. Um,
Mhm.
because going into HRT, uh, HRT is fairly saturated, so
No.
you got to really separate yourself
Yeah.
or be in an area where it's not saturated. So just kind of keep that in mind
Mhm.
as you begin this journey. Not to say that HRT can't be profitable. I'm not saying that whatsoever. HRT
Yeah.
can do very well. It really can.
Mhm.
I mean, there's still definitely a huge need for it, especially in areas where there's not really a whole lot of it. I don't know what your area looks like in terms of that goes, But um, so yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. But if you
Mhm.
do something more pediatric based in the right area
Mhm.
that's cash based,
Mhm.
it could still do well.
Yeah.
Even telemed as well. So I don't know, just keep that stuff in mind.
Yeah, I think the biggest piece is just that, I really am kind of I don't want to say tied. I am kind of tied to my full-time job now, for at least the next couple of years. I don't know that I would want to leave, but to be an option, but then to, yeah, have our own, I would love to do peds in the future too, potentially. But I don't think, like I said, I think it would just be, I wouldn't be able to do both with my full-time job and then do that on the side. It wouldn't be an option. So it just kind of puts me in a rock and a hard place.
Non competes and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
Fair
Tuffy.
enough.
It's Tuffy.
Yeah. I don't know what state you're in, but some states are enforceable, some states are not. Um, but but yeah, I know it does definitely put you into a difficult position. Now, one thing you could consider, and then we'll just leave it at this unless you want to talk about this, is
Yeah.
that one thing you could consider is more of a coaching kind of a thing in the
Yeah.
space.
True.
You could go the route of being a online content producer,
Mhm.
and by that I mean maybe you create a YouTube channel or whatever where you talk about
Mhm.
specific pediatric neurological problems,
Mhm.
talk about it from your experience and these sorts of things. And then you can develop more of a holistic coaching kind of a thing
Mhm.
where you can guide parents through these processes, provide your
Yeah.
recommendations on, I don't know, some functional integrative stuff, potentially supplements or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, and maybe be a guide for them
Mhm.
through a process or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's just
That's
strictly
true.
coaching. There's no diagnosis with it. There's no
Mhm.
lab analysis, anything like that.
Yeah.
Something like that could work, especially with something being very niched like this, like a pediatric
Yeah.
neurology kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's probably not a lot. I mean, yeah. So
I
you would
never thought
create a
about that.
YouTube, yeah, you create a YouTube channel and you just create videos about specific
Mhm.
conditions and these kinds of things.
Yeah.
People will watch them, and over time, you'll start getting clients. Like there will be some people who will be like, you know what, I really would like to have Katie as my advocate or something like that. And you would
Mhm.
slowly build up a clientele and that sort of a thing.
Mhm.
And really no liability associated with it. Be
Right.
fairly fun to do, very
Yeah.
rewarding.
Yeah.
So something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Um, yeah. I mean, that's totally, I've thought about that before. I just think I just have to run it by being able to do this too with my current job and being able to do that without it being like any sort of like conflict of interest or anything like that. Cause
right.
you know,
Well, I mean, they pretty much only have jurisdiction within a 50-mile radius of where it is. They
mm,
can't tell you what you can't do in
gotcha.
Maine,
Um,
Florida, like they have no jurisdiction over you. They don't.
yeah.
None. Zero.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Good to
wouldn't worry
know.
about it. Yeah. Just tell them like, okay, well, I just won't promote my stuff in this little 50-mile range.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I know better than
Yeah.
that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah.
not trying to
Yeah.
step on toes here. I just, I think the other thing too is like you talk about is uh some financial freedom too. I mean, feeling like, I have a little bit more control over things. I was actually looking for a contingent position a couple years ago just to kind of help pay some things down. And wasn't really finding anything that fit my schedule, my time, what I wanted to do. So then I think I actually may have stumbled across you. And then that's kind of was like, well, maybe this is a route to take. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
a piece too.
All right. Well, anyways, let's put that idea in the back of your head. Maybe it could be something that could be a little side thing later on. So
Yeah.
now,
I love that.
wellness practice. So you want to provide HRT,
Yeah.
you want to provide weight loss, those sorts of things. Are you wanting to do this locally?
Um, that was the thought. To maybe start out more like telehealth, potentially just to keep the overhead low. Um, and then just kind of slowly grow from there, maybe more like word of mouth. You know, I think I was getting in my head too, like, what if I grew too quick or something, which is a good problem to have, but my husband's like, you don't need to go there yet. um, so, um,
Um, well, I will say this, that being local tends to be has a higher chance of success.
Mhm.
Okay, than going telemed. Um, Problem with telemed is that it's just very difficult to be it's difficult to be seen with telemed.
Mhm.
It's hard for people to find you in telemed.
Yeah.
Um, so, unless you have some sort of a local plugin or something where you can start getting local patients and start getting word of mouth and you keep it telemed that way,
Yeah.
that's something you can do. But if you can just get like a really small office space somewhere
Mhm.
and be more local or regional, the chances of success will probably be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
So,
I did forget to tell you, I do have a girl, that she does only aesthetics, and she said that she has clients of hers ask for hormone replacement all the time. And she said, if you get started up, she's like, I'd be more than happy to send them your way. So I had kind of forgot about that. Um,
well, there you go. It could be a
yeah.
referral source, right?
Hmm.
Um, you definitely want to try to get as many referral sources as you possibly can. That's just one way, that's just one marketing strategy essentially. Um, so yeah, so definitely, that could be something that could get you, who knows, a couple dozen patients maybe. Um, so, I mean, you don't have to say where you're at,
Yeah.
but is it fairly populated? What's the demographics of your area look like?
Gosh, I mean, I'm in Ohio. So, gosh, in one of the major cities. So, I mean,
So a lot,
yeah, a lot.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And where I'm at, I'm north of the city. I did actually look up some of the hormone replacement places around me. I mean, there's a handful, but like none that I'd ever really heard of. I mean, and I'm in the area all the time. And they weren't very clearly marketed like hormone replacement therapy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was just kind of like wellness or health or so I did notice that. I don't know if that makes a difference.
It does.
Hmm.
Um, if there isn't a specific hormone replacement therapy clinic in your area for this, then why don't you do that?
I mean, that's
Like,
kind of my thought.
yeah,
Really just honing in on that really and not adding in all the
correct.
other fluff.
No,
Yeah.
not not necessary.
Yeah.
Pick one thing and get really good at it,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Weight loss, you know, have it on your website.
Yeah.
I'll just leave it at
Okay.
that. You know,
Okay.
offer it to patients, basically.
Hmm.
I wouldn't market it or advertise it. It's really just not necessary. Weight loss is so saturated anymore. It is a difficult thing to break into unless you're just in an area where there isn't any services. But
Yeah.
if you're in a major metropolitan
Oh,
area, I can guarantee there's probably 100 weight loss clinics.
yes. I'm sure someone
Yeah.
can find it around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So you just offer as a service. So
Mhm.
so you want to focus predominantly on women then, correct?
That would be my main uh service that I would really like market to. Um my husband would probably have some friends and like I want to be able to do men's, but I'm not going to market it to that. It's going to be more of like the focusing on women and their health, menopause, perimenopause mainly, like hormone replacement, thyroid, like that kind of thing.
So then yeah, just stick to that. You can treat, women's husbands or whatever, but just don't
Yeah.
really
That was
advertise it,
my
right?
thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a men's health clinic. It literally says men's health clinic,
Love
and
it.
I treat some women. Like, it's
Oh,
it's 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 the wife of a patient,
right.
you know, that kind of thing.
That was
Sure. I have
kind of my thought.
right, exactly. I mean, I have couple dozen women, a couple
Yep.
dozen women or whatever.
Yeah.
And I treat them with testosterone. I don't treat them with anything else, and they're
Mm,
happy. So whatever.
perfect. Yeah.
So
Oh,
um, yeah, like I don't know. I just
I can give you
progesterone,
testosterone.
estrogen. I don't know. Like, I just give them some testosterone and they feel great. I'm like, okay, cool. You know,
Hilarious.
and 5-10 milligrams a week or whatever injection, or 5-10 milligrams
Hey,
daily topical, and
I mean,
they feel
but
fantastic.
that's what
So
I
like
mean. Whatever
whatever.
works. These women feel better. They can take care of their kids, their families. So I'm very passionate about that too. And I have found in my pediatric neurology practice, I I really do care about the moms and the dads, and I want them to be healthy too. So I find myself kind of like coaching them in the same visit. I mean, I guess that's part of your job um, as a pediatric neurology, but
Yeah.
so yeah.
Okay. So You want to do women's health. So this definitely needs, like, the name of it should be something women's HRT, something like that. Okay. So figure out the name, something women's health HRT practice.
Mhm.
Keep it as, I mean, just keep it as straightforward, in your face as possible, right? Like, do not complicate this at all. All right. Because, like you said, when you went on Google and you looked around, no one really said that,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And there are plenty of people looking for that. And if they see that there's a practice name that's like that, it'll
Mhm.
probably catch their eye versus the other ones. So,
Yeah.
um,
Eh,
yeah, so yeah, stick to that.
I was just gonna say, I do also see when I've done my research, a lot of places also do aesthetics and that and all the things, which I think is great. Um, but like I said, I think really just like for me focusing in on that and not having like the everything
Exactly.
was my plan. But
You can offer some other things. That's fine. Offer some other things as complimentary services to the HRT.
mhm,
Okay.
mhm,
If you put aesthetics on your website or weight loss or whatever, and someone calls looking for that, then okay, cool. But
right.
I would make that your focus.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, if there's not a whole lot of people in your area doing it, go for it. Um,
Mhm.
you probably really won't have to advertise it much if you're local. So lots of women are looking for this. Like, they're
Mhm.
actively looking for
Mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Um, Therefore, make it just make yourself as easily findable as possible, basically. Because they're going to be looking for these services. So just put yourself out there, and people will find you if you're willing to go into it patiently.
Mhm.
All right. What's your budget like here with this? Like, how much money are you willing to put in on this business?
Well, oh gosh, to start out, trying to keep it really low overhead, like maybe a couple thousand to get the ball rolling and then slowly go from there. I guess that's my thing too, is I work 5 days a week. Um, I do tend to be home earlier in the evening. Like I don't work like 10, 12-hour days. I usually work about 8-hour days. So this would have to be mainly on the weekends, the evenings, or if I like took a day of PTO, I would have to do this on that day. Um, so I was a little nervous about that. um, but I do feel like my job is fairly flexible when it comes to that. I have a lot of PTO, which is nice. But yeah, so
Okay. So you're probably going to need at least, I mean, put $5,000 aside.
mhm,
Okay. For this. I mean, you're going to need to spend probably around 5 grand.
yeah.
Um, you're really going to need to have a Google business listing. You're going to really need to figure out how people can find you locally.
Okay.
Okay. If you do telemed only, um, it's going to be somewhat difficult for people to find you because, you're not going to be able to associate your practice to a business address or an actual address. I mean, it's this. Um, can you do it without, an actual office or something? Yes, there are ways to do it. You can use your home address if you wanted to do that, which
Hmm.
I would have. You can use shared office spaces, maybe potentially a virtual address in your local area.
Mhm.
Uh, but Google tends to be one of those things where most people that I talk to who
Mhm.
want to get a Google business address somewhere,
Mhm.
I mean, a business listing somewhere, most people that I talk with who do telemed only have a hard time doing it.
Yeah.
Even if get a virtual address or a shared office space or something,
Mhm.
and they use that address to get it, a lot of times it'll kick back and say,
Oh.
not a valid address
Yeah.
or address already taken because someone else did the same thing you tried to do.
Mhm.
Um, Now sometimes some people do it and they get it, and that's it. And they have it for years. Like,
Mhm.
you just never know. There's no rhyme or reason for it. It's algorithm based. There's no one approving these things on the back end. So just kind of keep that in mind. It might be difficult.
Yeah.
So if you can get a shared space somewhere and have a physical presence where you can get a Google business listing, I would highly advise it.
Okay. Yeah, I would rather do that. I mean, I would rather have like a brick and mortar or do a hybrid for sure would be my preference. I was just maybe thinking for the first couple months, maybe, and then kind of seeing how things go and how everything's going. Um, but if you
Yeah,
think right out
that's
the
fine.
gate, I think I can keep searching for a space.
I think that's fine. I think that's
Yeah.
fine. If you want the first couple months, it's fine. If literally all you're going to do is telemed, and if you cannot get a Google business address,
Yeah.
you're not going to have to spend a lot of money on this
Hmm.
at all.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to need a website. You're going to need an EMR,
Yeah.
create some accounts with some compounding pharmacies,
Hmm.
have a payment processor.
Hmm.
That's like, I mean, that's the 90% of it.
Hmm.
Okay. This really should cost you very, very little. I mean, if you are tech savvy whatsoever, or you can use an AI tool or something, you can build the website yourself. All right.
Probably have my
Um,
husband do that. He works in IT.
okay. Okay. All right. There you go. Have your husband build your website for you.
Yeah.
You know, um, you could, in theory, really, you could probably launch this for less than $1,000 if your husband's going to build a website for you.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, form an LLC, and then it'll cost you a couple $100 if you use the LLC service.
Hmm.
Uh, uh, I don't know about the process of forming an LLC in Ohio. I don't know if Ohio requires an LLC or a PLLC. I don't know. So you will need to look that up.
Yeah.
Something tells me they require a PLLC for some reason.
I think it is. I've been down that rabbit hole. I was looking that up because I know you said you recommended to create the LLC in Wyoming or Nevada and then do your LLC if you're going to have like an actual brick and mortar here in the state.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. So, I think it's a PLLC. If you have something very obvious like medical, but it's just an LLC, I think if it just says wellness or something like that.
Yeah. If you're providing a professional service, it's a PLLC.
Hmm.
Um, Yeah, so and if the professional owns it, I think the rule's it's pretty cut and dry. If you are a professional providing your services,
Hmm.
then you need to have a PLLC.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you do it out of an LLC? Sure. But if for some reason someone caught wind of it with the Secretary of State or something like that,
Yeah.
they could temporarily shut you down until you get it, you
Gotcha.
know. And that would
You
just
don't
be a
want
big
that.
pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No,
Yeah.
definitely not.
Um, yeah. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure you need a PLLC in Ohio. I think just from other MPs I've talked with, I remember that's just what's coming to my head. So, so you're going to get a PLLC. Now, the process of filing a PLLC could be pretty straightforward. It usually is in most states. All right. You can go to the Secretary of State's website and see like usually they have a portal or something
Mhm.
where you log into to file for this.
Yeah.
Um, Usually it's an online service, and usually if you do it directly through the Secretary of State, usually it's pretty cheap, $50
Okay.
to take. So you can do it yourself. If you don't want to fool with it, then just look up an LLC creation service in Ohio and then just pay it a couple $100 and just get it done.
Yeah.
Don't use LegalZoom.
Okay.
It's expensive and it takes forever.
Okay.
Um, just go through like something that's branded for Ohio.
Okay.
Okay. A PLLC creation service.
What about the
And
registered agent? I was seeing something about that. You have to have a registered agent. Do
your registered
you
agent
know
is
what that?
just someone that you put on the registered agent could be your nephew.
Okay.
Like my nephew's my registered agent for a few of my LLCs. Like seriously.
Sweet. Okay, so you
It's
don't have
just
to like pay for that. That's not something I have to like pay for.
yeah, there's registered agent services online you can
Yeah.
pay for. It's like $50 a year,
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to use an independent third party. All a registered agent is a person with a different address than yours that someone can send something official to if they can't get a hold of you. That's all it is.
Got it. Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why
I'm gonna
I use family members.
makes sense. Okay.
Who cares? It
This
doesn't matter,
Yeah,
you
this
know?
is the part I'm like, I don't know, this legal stuff, I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Most LLC creation services will have a will provide you a registered agent as well for a year.
Okay.
So
Okay.
super easy. Yeah,
Perfect.
no problem whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing to it. All right. I hope everyone's enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick break to thank everyone listening and also give a big thank you to all of my social media followers and email subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to our email list at www.elitenp.com and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Email subscribers will receive updates on new weekly podcast episodes, multiple weekly articles we publish, new courses, and everything else related to helping you succeed. Remember, all elite nurse practitioner courses are designed to help you build a niche practice, increase your financial strength, and to break free from the rat race. If I can break free and the other countless nurse practitioners can break free, then so can you. Additionally, please share this podcast with your other nurse practitioners, sisters, and brothers out there. The more NPs that venture out on their own, the stronger our profession will become. Now, let's get back to the episode. So yeah, just get that out of the way. That's just it's don't lose sleep over it. It's not that big of a deal. Just get the PLC and be done with it. Get
Mhm.
it done.
Yeah,
Okay.
agreed.
But yeah, so I seriously, you could probably start this less than $1,000 probably
Yeah.
if your husband's gonna build a website. If you want to just be telemed only. Now
I
you
I
need
would
to
love a
figure
brick
out
and mortar.
though.
I mean, I would love to like sit and be able to counsel my clients in person, so that would be
Well, then
cool.
shop around.
Yeah.
Shop around. You might be able to find something pretty cheap somewhere.
Mhm.
That's like a shared office space kind of a thing, or
Mhm.
it's just a single room, like it's just like single little offices that are
Yeah.
200 square feet or something,
Yeah.
cost $500 a month, you
Yeah.
know. Um, you have your own address,
Mhm.
you know, you're in like a you're in a big office building or something.
Mhm.
Um, you should be able to find something pretty cheap if you
Okay.
look for it.
I will.
Okay.
Don't you worry.
Yeah. Just don't be in the ghetto. Like,
Yeah.
be somewhere halfway decent.
Okay. Summer
My
sleep.
first practice was in the ghetto, literally. Like,
How did that
yeah,
happen?
like
How'd you come to that decision?
I don't know. It was cheap. I didn't really think about it. I just didn't think about it. Like, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of a old part of town, And like there'd be homeless people just like sleeping on the sidewalk out front and just walking around, and you're just like, I was there for about a year. Then we moved.
That's so
But
great. Love it.
it worked.
You're like, just
It
doing it,
worked.
doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was 7, 8 years ago. It's a lot worse now, in most places anyways. Like, yeah. So just
Fun.
find something pretty cheap
Yeah.
and affordable in a decent area. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can do that, go that route. I 100% like
Yeah.
agree. I think that you should go that route. And
Yeah.
then the majority of your expenses will just be that,
Mhm.
like throw some furniture in it or exam table or whatever, like you can keep it very simple, very straightforward, streamlined.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's just a one room little office, you
Yeah.
should be able to fully flush that thing out for less than $2,000.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay.
Might need a new coat of paint. You just go in there and do it yourself on the weekend or something.
Oh
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Bring my
Yeah.
15-year
Yeah.
old. He can help.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Put them to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
It's good for him.
So yeah, so I mean that's just basic stuff. I would say go that route if you can.
Yeah.
Um, the biggest challenge is just getting patients.
Mhm.
Like the biggest challenge is just getting that volume.
Mhm.
And so I don't think you need to spend money advertising this practice. I
Okay.
really don't.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't want you to spend money advertising it. Um, Instead, you need to spend the money and the time just making yourself, like I said,
Mhm.
easily findable.
Okay.
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 So when you get an office space, a room or something,
Mhm.
think to yourself, this is actually a marketing expense because
Yeah.
now I have a local presence here with my Google business listing that I can, that I can associate it with,
Yeah.
and I'm making myself, findable
Mhm.
out there. I'm
Mhm.
easily found now.
Mhm.
So think about it as a marketing expense as well.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good way to think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you put your Google business listing up there, you have a decent website, get some reviews on there, even if it's just some family and friends you treat or whatever, have them put a review up there for you. Um, Prioritize getting as many reviews as you possibly can, and people will call you.
Okay.
And if you're patient, it will grow.
Yeah.
Okay. It will slowly grow. Now, the guest that I just had, she is just word of mouth only.
Mm.
Okay. Their practice is doing close to $30,000 a month and, over
Wow.
2 years. So it's
Okay.
slow, nice, slow growth kind of a thing.
I mean,
Right.
I think that's what I'm kind of looking for too, actually, just because I am
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
still a couple years out from making any kind of decision about my current
Correct.
position. Yeah.
You're working full time. Like, you don't have that much time to put towards this.
Mm-mm.
So you don't want 100 patients banging on your door. You don't want that. I mean, what do you do then? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So nice, slow and go kind of a thing. So what she did, and I've talked about this before in
Mm.
other podcast
Oh, okay.
episodes, is community and engagement marketing. And community engagement marketing is basically you
Mhm.
getting into some Facebook groups in your area,
Mm.
moms, older women, whatever you can think of that where your patients might be.
Yeah.
And you get in there and you just answer people's questions about stuff.
Ah.
Engage with that community.
Mhm.
Don't go in there and advertise your business. Don't do that.
Mm.
Okay.
Mhm.
There might be times where it's appropriate.
Mm.
Someone that says, "Oh, well, are you accepting new patients?" In fact, yes, I am. Here's the link to my website.
Mm. Mhm.
That's okay.
Mhm.
Don't go in there and just post, "Hey, this is Katie. This is a new business I have. Come to my web." Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
No one's gonna click. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just engage with the community, answer people's questions, that sort of a thing, and
Yeah.
you would be surprised. You will get patients from that, and it's free. It just takes a little of your time.
It was funny. I was in a mom's group. I'm in one of the moms groups here, and I noticed that someone had literally one of the moms in one of the suburbs here just posted, "Does anyone know how to do HRT?" And I showed my husband and I was like, "Look, you
There you
know,
go. Exactly. You could have responded to that. I'm actually
I
taking some patients
know."
if you're interested.
Yeah, I
Right.
didn't, but
Someone will ask that question again in time. Don't worry.
yeah.
You know.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
So
that's great. Okay.
so anyways though. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Community
Just
engagement
do that.
marketing.
Yeah. That's just community engagement. It's free. It
Okay.
just takes some of your time. Okay. You do this, you will get patients. Okay. And you will not be stressed out about it because you are on a limited, schedule. You are on a limited budget.
Mhm.
So you don't want to go balls to the wall here and just open up and try to get as many people as you can. It's
Mhm.
not what you want to do.
Mhm.
So, you're going to be seeing patients on what, maybe a Saturday morning for a
Mhm.
few hours,
Yeah.
right? Or Thursday afternoon if you can get off early or something,
Mhm.
1 or 2 days
That's
a
the plan.
week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So your goal is for it to be slow.
Mhm.
Okay. So, and just slowly, it builds by itself slowly.
Okay.
You are in a very, very powerful position when you are in a position like that
Mm.
because you're not anxious about it. You're not tied to it. You're not
Mhm.
relying on it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You can allow it to slowly do its thing.
Mhm.
Most people out there, this is what happens. They get impatient and they want their business to grow super fast.
Mm.
And then they start wasting a bunch of money on a bunch of advertising stuff,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And they end up just spending so much money on advertising. Now their business is making no money. They're spending their own money advertising their practice.
Mm.
And they have some patients trickling in that are probably just finding them organically. Okay.
Right.
So you are in a very, very powerful position to where you can give this 1 to 2 years
Yeah.
to just organically do its thing.
Mhm.
All right. By doing that, it'll put you in a position where 2 years from now, you can be like, I'm working 10, 15, 20 hours a week doing this.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm killing myself now.
Yeah.
but I'm making $30,000 a month or whatever through this business. And it's just like, that's when you cut part-time with your job.
Mhm.
Let's put some more time into your business.
Mhm.
Keep doing the same thing. Let's continue to grow. And before you know it,
Mhm.
3 or 4 years goes by.
Mhm.
You are well established now. Your business is a very well established business with
Mhm.
lots of reviews,
Mhm.
lots of word of mouth, lots of patience,
Mhm.
and you just let it do its thing by being patient. And now you have a business that's doing very well.
Mhm.
And now you can quit your job and go full in on it and focus
Mhm.
on it.
Okay.
And you've taken no risk and you've put
Right.
very little money into it.
Right. That's
Yeah.
well, and there is an opportunity. I could go down to 4 days a week if I was making enough income to kind of replace what I would make on that 4th or that 5th day at my current job. So I could definitely do that at some point. Um,
Beautiful.
Depending. Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's options.
Yeah, I would definitely take advantage of that, but it might take you 6 months to get there though, you know what I
Yeah. And
mean?
that's okay.
Yeah,
That's really okay. It's fine. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay. Um, so any questions with, I guess, the startup process? I mean, you have our courses or one of our courses or whatever,
Yeah, I
you know,
do. Yeah.
like the
Um,
steps are there for you,
yeah.
that's the steps. And we don't need to go over that kind of stuff. I want to talk more like high level stuff here. So do you have any like specific questions with that?
Don't think so. At least what I had written down. I think we talked a lot about what I had questions for. Um, yeah, no, I think that was it. And I've done a lot of, like I said, kind of digging through your courses already. And so I feel like that's been a lot of really good information. All your links to preferred vendors, like all of that is just super helpful.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So what about, you said that you're juggling, a part-time business with a full-time job, and we've kind of already touched on this some,
hmm
but you have any specific questions or concerns there?
I mean, I'm a little nervous that I'm going to be a little stressed out trying to do this. But I'm a hard worker and I, find the open time that I can and I feel like I do a good job of compartmentalizing, this and this. Um I think that's the only thing I'm really worried about, but um I'm really exciting about the material and just doing something new. It's actually been pretty motivating for me.
Yeah. It's exciting. It is. It can be somewhat terrifying. It
Mhm.
can be somewhat scary to do something that I mean, it's just like anything else. First time you do it, it's kind of like, ugh, you're scared about doing it.
Oh yeah.
Uh, but once you're out there and you're doing it, you're like, what the hell is I scared of? Um, your mind can play tricks on you. You'll, for some reason, it'll put the worst possible case scenario at the very forefront of your brain,
Mhm.
which tends to be the most unlikely scenario to happen, but that's
Mhm.
kind of how our brains are wired, right?
Right.
Um, yeah, so don't worry too much about it. I think that worst case scenario is it doesn't do well, you're out a few $1,000 and some time. I mean, it's not
Right.
the end of the world,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that one thing that you need to consider here is you want to be as specific as possible
Mhm.
with what day you see patients.
Okay.
Very consistent, I mean, like be very consistent.
Okay.
So you need to try to prioritize what day are you seeing patients
Mhm.
and you make it happen.
Yeah.
So you just say, I'm going to do it on Friday afternoons. I'm going to make sure that I get off work at 2 o'clock
Mhm.
and I will see patients from 2:30 to 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm going to see patients, and that's it. And I'm done for the week.
Mm,
That's all I do. I only see patients on that day at that time.
got it.
Patients will work their schedule in to fit your schedule. They will.
Mhm.
Okay. Some of them won't, but most will.
Okay.
Okay. Weekends are usually a fairly safe bet, but the problem is that you're giving away some of your,
Yeah.
your weekend time, your
Yeah.
free time. You're
Yeah.
giving it away.
Right.
And that gets old quick. Um, yeah.
Yeah. I could see that. What do you think about doing? I also thought about doing like definitely having like a group of hours set every week to see patients, but like also maybe offering like by appointment only, like if I could do like one new patient like on a Monday evening, or like what do you think about that? Or should I still just stick to the that's when I do it?
Just just be consistent. That's all that matters.
Okay.
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 That like that's it. It doesn't really matter when or what day that it just you're consistent with it.
Okay.
That way for you, it helps you stay organized because
Yeah.
you just know, all right, it's Monday evening.
Mhm.
This is what I do for 1 or 2 hours.
Mhm.
All right, it's Thursday evening. This is what I do.
Yeah.
That way your husband and your kids and everyone can expect this is what mama does during this time.
Yeah.
And this is what you do. It's just, in your mind, you can organize yourself this way.
Mhm.
So just be consistent with it. But in the evenings after work, if you get off work at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
and you go straight to your practice and
Yeah.
work from 5:30 to 7 or something,
Yeah.
and you just do that once, or 2 or 3 times a week,
Yeah.
that works. That's fine.
Mhm.
That'll be okay.
Yeah.
Most patients can see you during that time because most patients are not working. And so those evening hours tend to do pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that could work. I would try to strive for a little earlier if you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
I should be
just so
able
you're not home
to.
so late.
I'm
Yeah.
usually wrapped up by 4 p.m. Most days. So
Okay. Well, then there you go.
depends on the
Then
day,
just
but most
yeah, you start at 5, then be done at 6:30 or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
You should be able to squeeze in. Listen, chances are, okay, like I'm just going to be totally real with you here.
Yeah. Please.
This is an extremely part-time business, and you're not advertising, you're not putting a ton of effort and time into it.
Okay.
Um,
Thanks.
that y- y- if you have 2 new patients a week, you're doing pretty good
Okay.
for something like this.
2 new
Okay,
patients a week. Aim for that. All right.
2 patients a week, 2 new patients a week for something that's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that you aren't putting effort into this, you are,
Look.
but your goal is to keep this very, very part-time. So you're not putting the work into it to grow and scale this thing to $1 million business in a year. You're
Oh
not
yeah. No.
doing that,
No.
right?
No. 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 Yeah.
So the amount of effort you're putting into this is a lot less than what someone would be doing if they're doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Right.
So by not really advertising and by just keeping it very, very simple, 1 to 2 new patients a week, okay, should probably be your goal.
Yeah.
3 would be great, 4 would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start getting 3 or 4 or 5 new patients every single week,
Yeah.
and you only have 5 or 6 hours a week to give this,
Yeah.
when you start having to schedule follow-ups, that is when you start just being like, I don't have enough time for like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm having to work a little later now. I'm gonna have to put another hour in here or
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when it starts turning into more of a grind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's when it starts turning into burnout.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so yeah. So if you stick to 2 or 3 new patients a week, just
Mhm.
through word of mouth alone, which is definitely possible. Um,
Yeah.
think about it this way. Okay. So let's just call it 2 patients a week. That's 8 patients a month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Over 1 year, that is almost 100 patients, basically. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In 1 year, that's 100 patients.
Yeah.
Okay. If each patient, let's say you do HRT and you go the subscription-based model, which is
Yeah.
what you should do. That's the best model for this. Let's just call it, for simple math,
Mm-hmm.
let's just call it, women's hormones tend to be a little bit more expensive than men.
Okay.
Let's just call it $200 a month. Okay. Do some research in your area to determine if that's actually a good price or not. Okay. So $200 a month, and you have 100 patients the first year. All
Mhm.
right. That is totally possible
Mm-hmm.
without advertising. Just letting and
Okay.
just being patient.
Yeah.
That's $20,000 a month.
Mm. Okay.
So yeah, snowballs
Crazy.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Some of those people will fall off, I mean,
Right.
so and I'm going with 2 patients a week here. Very, very low number.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's
yeah.
definitely doable and total. Yeah. So I definitely feel like that's very manageable. and then finagling things from there. Like I said, there's some opportunity to cut back if I would need to, if I was feeling the burnout. It's not like I have to continue. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um,
That's a good problem to have.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Let's hope you do. Like, you know what I mean? I hope you
Well,
do.
we can only
Like,
hope.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah. So yeah, I think that just go into that like that. I'd say just don't waste your money on marketing. Just go into
okay.
it, just be patient. Like
Okay.
we
Yeah.
is that like does that vibe with you?
Oh yeah. No, this was great. Really helpful. I was kind of getting ahead of myself, I think, in my head a couple weeks ago, but since then I've really become a little more level-headed. So this is very helpful.
Yeah. Okay. $5,000. Keep it simple as hell and just be patient. And I seriously think this could turn into something that could easily be popping off 10, $15,000 a month by the end of the year. Easy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No,
So,
that'd be
okay.
great. And then dumping all that back into whatever I need to keep things going well. So,
Right. And then if you can drop down to 4 days a week, you have a full day now.
oh,
Then,
yeah. I mean,
then
that's my
that's when you put the
ultimate goal.
real effort into it.
Yeah.
That's when you put the real time into it.
That's kind
Yeah.
of my goal right now is to kind of get this up and going to the point where I can at least go down to 4 days a week and then go from there. That's the ultimate like short-term goal to some
I
extent.
think in 6 to 12 months, I think that's
Yeah.
feasible. I think that's definitely realistic,
Okay.
especially if you're doing that community engagement, really trying to hunt down some patients because
Yeah.
word of mouth typically takes 3 to 6 months to really start,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So
Um,
yeah, anyways. All right.
cool.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. Um, yeah, I think that's it. That was really helpful. Um, yeah, that's it.
Okay. I like to end the episode with you asking me a question. You have a question for me, a curiosity or just a question for me?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you actually, like, do you have like a favorite podcaster or anyone that you like listen to and you're like, wow, I'm just obsessed with them. They're so great. I listen to a lot of podcasts, so that's why I was asking.
What kind of podcast first? I listen to a lot of different
So
podcasts.
do I. Really anything, to be honest. I, I can give you one of mine hobbies that I'm like into that is kind of off this a little bit, but I'm traveling on credit card points
Hey,
and learning how to utilize that for travel.
well, hey, just here's a quick tip. Make sure that you make sure you get a business card and you put everything on that business card because miles add up
It,
really quick with a
yeah,
business,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
in terms of podcasts go, what someone that I just like listen to that I really, really like. Um, I really get a lot of value out of the Modern Wisdom podcast.
wow.
Um, yeah, I think his name's Chris Williamson. It's one of those it's one of those podcasts that is very in the social philosophy kind of realm,
Hmm. Yeah.
It's not really business, it's not finance or anything. It's just like how to become a whole person,
Hmm.
you know, topics
Yeah.
like that.
Love that.
I get a lot of value out of that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say probably um I really like the Rest is History podcast. If you're kind of a history dork, I am.
Oh, I
So
do like history.
that's a fun podcast. It's
Mm.
two British guys and they talk about like a topic for like 4 to 6 episodes.
Oh,
And like I just listened to the fall of the Incan Empire over 6 episodes, and I was just like, holy
oh,
like
eye
I had
opening.
no idea the Spanish were this savage. My lord. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
interesting.
The rest is history, you said?
The Rest is History. It's a good podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like history. I mean, right now I'm kind of listening to all the medical stuff, but it's a good break, you know?
It's a good break.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta diversify yourself, like,
Oh, yeah.
especially in medicine and business. Like there's like
Yeah.
you can get stuck listening to nothing but business podcasts or nothing but medical podcasts. And
Right. It
it's
gets,
not good for you.
yeah. I'm like, I can only do it so much, you know? So, yeah, no, those sound great. Perfect. Love it.
Cool. All right. Hopefully this was helpful. So if you want to
Yeah.
do a
Thank you
follow-up
so
anytime, just
much.
let me know.
Yeah.